Hey everyone, good afternoon. So here I am today with an article on depression. I thought this was a good one. It says, is depression considered an illness? Yes, depression is considered an illness and a disorder. It's listed as major depressive disorder in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Health Disorder, 5th edition. According to the DSM-5-TR, mental disorders are conditions where symptoms cause significant disruption in your cognitive and emotional regulation or behavior. These symptoms are usually associated with major distress or impairment in social, occupational, and other important areas of function. Is depression a disease? Whether or not depression can be classified as a disease remains a topic of debate. As the understanding of the causes of depression and its biological underpinnings grow, more and more experts are championing its inclusion as a disease. In a 2016 research article, the author explains that depression not only has its own biological characteristics, but it may also contribute to other disease processes in the body, such as inflammation, platelet activity, and autonomic nervous system activity. In this way, they argue that depression meets the definition of systemic, which is whole body, disease. Is depression an emotion? In many non-medical settings, depression has become interchangeable with sadness, but depression is not an emotion. Depression is a mental health disorder. It involves negative feelings like sadness, dismay, and despair, but it isn't an emotion on its own. The word depressed simply means downcast, lowered. It's natural to have days where you feel down or to experience times of sadness and loss. During these times, you may have a depressed mood, but not necessarily a diagnosable mental health condition. Is depression genetic? Genetics may play a role in how likely you are to experience MDD, but no clear link shows genetics cause depression. How the two are related appear to be complex. Research is ongoing to investigate if genetics cause depression, influence its progression, or can be linked to specific variants of the disorder. In 2018, a review, for example, found genetics made only a small contribution to the progression of depression, likely through secondary mechanisms like cytokine production and disruption of neurogenesis, the production of new neurons in the brain. A study done in 2022 using data from more than 500,000 people found genetics may significantly influence the development of early age onset depression. Is depression a disability? Yes. Depression can be classified as a disability if it prevents you from engaging in activities or interacting with the world around you. The Center for Disease Control, the CDC, indicates that disabilities can be conditions of the body or mind that cause physical or mental impairment, activity limitation, and participation restriction. Some of the hallmark symptoms of depression involve disability, cognitive impairment, chronic fatigue, and loss of interest in self-motivated activities are all ways that depression can limit your ability to engage with the world around you. Major depressive disorder is listed in the Americans with Disabilities Act, also known as the ADA, as a disability that may entitle you to workforce accommodations. Although the ADA doesn't keep a complete list of conditions that potentially qualify for disabilities, its psychiatric enforcement guidance documents named MDD and other disorders that include features of depression, such as bipolar disorder. Is depression curable? There is no cure for depression, but that doesn't mean you're not going to experience symptoms for your entire life. There are many treatments and therapies designed to reduce your symptoms and improve your mental health. In order for depression to have a cure, you'd have to be able to say with complete certainty that symptoms will never return after they go away. Depression has no clear pathology, and that makes it impossible to say if an underlying cause has been completely resolved. What we do know is that clinical samples show that 75% of people living with depression will experience multiple episodes. Analysis data from 2011 that is still in current use research models indicates that there is a 60% chance of MDD reoccurrence after your first episode. With every additional episode, your chances of reoccurrence goes up. That still means many people never have more than one episode of major depression. Just because symptoms go away, however, doesn't mean that the condition is definitely cured. Takeaway: depression is not just a mood or an emotion. It's an illness, a mental health disorder, and according to some, a disease that affects the entire body. And although there's no cure for depression, treatment can help alleviate symptoms and reduce your chances of reoccurrence.